Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint Germain family. We're obviously set to face Manchester City soon in the UEFA Champions League. And in today's video, I thought to myself, we'll look at 5 ways Paris Saint Germain can beat and potentially even humiliate Manchester City as they've been humiliated many times so far this season. Number 1, it's William Pacho versus Erling Braut Haaland. William Pacho obviously came for 40 million from Frankfurt and has been a very good signing for us both in the league and in the UEFA Champions League. But he will be coming up against a beast he's not faced before. There's no one else like Erling Braut Haaland. That power, that athleticism, the goal-scoring ability, it's an unstoppable force that Pacho will somehow have to defend against. And Pacho, all respect to him, when we have faced like a team with a target man in the league, we haven't really faced that in the UCL. Atletico don't play with a striker. Arsenal don't play with a striker. Bayern Kane was dropping deep. So this will be his first test like that in the UCL. But we've seen him against a lot of target men in the league and he's done very well. Very well against the target man. But as I said, Erling Braut Haaland is an entirely different beast. But to say this about Haaland, we have to mention how, for example, Antonio Rudiger has been handling him every time Manchester City have been facing Real Madrid. And that's exactly what I'm expecting from Pacho to do. And I think that's exactly what a lot of PSG fans, when we signed Pacho, that's what we knew he was going to be for us. He was going to be that athletic, physical player. So whenever we face a team with a target man, he will make his job more difficult. So if I was Pacho, I would go and rewatch every single City Madrid game, see exactly what Rudiger did on Erling Braut Haaland. He has to be tight on him. He has to be physical. He may do some dirty stuff when nobody sees. We need this from you, Pacho. Number 2, the demonic duo of Paris Saint Germain, Barbouz, as I've recently liked to call them. Ousmane Dembélé and Bradley Barcola have been sensational for Paris Saint Germain in Ligue 1, the Trophée des Champions, and in the Coupe de France. 23 goals and 9 assists between them. It's astonishing. I think both of the players have already outperformed their GA from last season, which just shows how much they've developed, but it also means the void of Mbappe has pushed them forcefully into scoring, and it's not even that many assists. It's mostly about the goal scoring thing. But this is a UCL game versus City, and in the Champions League, unfortunately, Dembélé and Bradley Barcola have 1 assist between them. So going off the 6 games that we played, Dembélé and Barcola, comparing them to the league, to the UCL, it's a huge different story which will have to be changed in this game. We're coming in, though, with great momentum and great confidence for Dembélé Barcola. Barcola, obviously, at the moment, 4 GA in his last 2 games, is decent. And his last game in the Champions League was obviously the man of the match performance versus Salzburg. Yes, he missed 2 big chances. Yes, he didn't get a GA, but a man of the match because of his insane dribbling and just threat the entire game. And sometimes maybe you don't have to score, just have a great game. And I don't think we saw that from Bradley Barcola in the previous Champions League games. So when it comes to Barcola, there is confidence, there is momentum. When it's Ousmane Dembélé, there is confidence, there is momentum. He has 6 goals in his last 5 games, which is the best 5-game stretch with goals in his entire career. Ousmane Dembélé has never been more ready to score a goal for PSG in the UEFA Champions League. And it will be huge expectations and a huge pressure on both of them, but obviously more on Ousmane Dembélé. He's the main man, he's the number 10, and he will have to do what he has to do. But I'm expecting and I'm confident for both of our wingers to perform really well in this game and hopefully get a goal each, because we will need it. If Barcola and Dembélé are not scoring, it's maybe a Hakimi goal, maybe a Nunu goal. That's it. Number 3. If we take a look at the City lineup here, you can see they're playing with that fullbacks. Obviously, Rico Lewis tucks into the double pivot with Kovacic. And then you got Doku and Savinho pretty much as wingbacks, you could say. Akanji and Gvardiol defending those wide spaces. And that's exactly where Bradley Barcola, Nuno Mendes on the left side, and Achraf Hakimi and Ousmane Dembélé on the right side. We've talked about how good Dembélé and Barcola have been. But Hakimi, probably been our best player, most consistent player so far this season, and Nuno Mendes as well. And both of them have been, I would say, our 2 best players. I think on SofaScore average rating, Hakimi and Nuno Mendes are our highest rated players in the UEFA Champions League. So I'm confident in them. But I'm expecting Hakimi, Dembélé, Nuno Mendes and Barcola to make it extremely difficult for Manchester City. We need to attack those wide spaces. And guess what? That's City's biggest weakness. Paris Saint Germain's biggest strength is that we don't really do that much centrally, which could be a problem when we defend against City, who like to do a lot of stuff centrally. We like to do it from the wing. And that's exactly where our strength will go against their weakness. Dembélé, Hakimi on the right side, Nuno, Barcola on the left side versus Savinho Doku trying to help out Akanji and Gvardiol, I think we'll cook. But as I said, they need to perform, obviously. But I'm confident in all four of them to absolutely exploit Manchester City's biggest weakness. Number 4. When it comes to Manchester City offense, it's, as we mentioned before, Erling Braut Haaland, the unmovable force. You got some cheeky Savinho here and there in Doku. But apart from that, it's the central creation from Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne. Even though I've said City haven't been the best this season, even though Foden and De Bruyne haven't been the best this season, this is a huge game, and players turn up for a huge game. Form gets thrown out of the window for a huge game like this, and I think De Bruyne and Phil Foden will be the danger that we have to look at, apart from Erling Braut Haaland and the City team. I'm not really frightened by Doku or Savinho. I don't really care, but De Bruyne and Foden in those central areas can be really dangerous. We know that Vitinha and Neves are going to start the game, and it's unsure if it will be Fabiano or Warren next to them, but whoever it is, they need to do a great defensive job on them, because they will be our double pivot. Maybe one midfielder even drops back to the defense. These 3 midfielders need to make sure that De Bruyne doesn't get the ball in too many gray areas and be tight on him. Make it hard, tackle, make a foul, take a yellow card. We don't really care. But De Bruyne and Foden, I do not want to see them. I mean, they will get the ball in a dangerous area 100%. I mean, that's just how good they are and City are, but I don't want to see it many times. I want to see Neves and Vitinha and Warner making it really tough for them. Can't forget, Foden is built like a toothpick, and De Bruyne, I mean, he's physically washed. This shouldn't be a hard test for the young blood in Warner Zaire Emery, João Neves and Vitinha, who can run all game, who have crazy energy. Prove me that you are potentially our midfield 3 for the rest of the upcoming 10 years. Number 5, the last and most important one. If you go back the past 3 seasons, the 2 players that have costed us a line defense. That is Marquinhos and Gianluigi Donnarumma. When the pressure comes on in the UEFA Champions League, they seem to not be able to handle it that well. And that is a big problem. But they need to pull up this game. I don't really care. I don't really care. If we want to win this game, we have to be defensively really good. Because City's biggest weakness is defensively. All right, so that shouldn't be that big of a concern. But they are still a very great offensive side with very talented players. And having Marquinhos and Donna, they cannot make a mistake. I don't want to sit on the post-match podcast or the post-match reaction and say, oh my God, Donna costed us again. We got to sell. Marquinhos costed us again. We have to sell. Marquinhos is the captain of this club. I don't want to see another embarrassing performance from Marquinhos. He needs to be the captain. He needs to be better than everyone else on the pitch. He needs to show that. I saw glimpses of that last season in the knockout stages versus Barca, Sociedad, heck, even Dortmund. I saw some of a resurgence of Marquinhos, and I need this Marquinhos for this game. I don't need the Club Brugge Marquinhos or the Arsenal Marquinhos, the clueless Marquinhos. I need top dog Marquinhos. That's who I need. And when it comes to Gianluigi Donnarumma, he's had a very tough season. Extension talks have stopped. Safanov starts ahead of him. What was his name? Simba or something. Zingu just tramps into his face. I don't really care, Donna. I don't really care. Why? Because this game you have to perform. Because I think this is a do or die game for Donna out of all the PSG players. I said with the constant extensions stalling and everything, Donna needs to have a 10 out of 10 game, man. Because if he has that kind of a game, we will forget all the doubts. We will be like, let's support him. Let's back Donna. Let's give him the extension so he can calm down. Let's do some positive stuff. So I need a huge 10 out of 10 performance from these 2 players. Really high expectations. And those were my 5 reasons or ways Paris Saint Germain can dominate and own Manchester City. Hopefully guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any other ways we need to look into this game. That's been it from boy PSG. Hopefully guys have enjoyed this video. And as usual, allez, et Paris.